All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Blue Collar Sports Talk. I am HuskerBot 3000. You know what, HuskerBot 3000? You were bad luck last week for the Huskers. I think we're going to skip your introductions this week. Oh, I'm sorry. On today's podcast, we're going to discuss Nebraska's chances at beating Colorado. The NFL has started tonight, Thursday, September the 7th. The Lions go to the Chiefs. We'll take a look at that game. Cincinnati Kitty Cats, the Bengals take on the Cleveland Browns. A battle of Ohio's best NFL teams. Oh, wait, it's the only two. Okay. The Bucs take on the Vikings in Minneapolis. We'll take a look at the Raiders going to Denver to take on the Broncos. We'll take a look at the Packers and the Bears. What can the Packers do without Aaron Rodgers? What would an NFL season be without James just gushing about his Cowboys? They will be at the Giants. The Bills go to New York to take on the Jets. We will see if Aaron Rodgers grounds the Jets, implodes into the side of a mountain, or soars to victory. And now here's our show. Hey, everybody. Welcome, all sports fans. Let's congratulate everybody that has stuck with us for a year listening to Blue Collar Sports Talk.
A full year, come back around, starting a new season. What a great time. Enjoyed it. So far, so good.
If you listen on Spotify, please hit that follow button. And on YouTube, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. We're going to jump right into things. Volleyball last night, Nebraska at home against Creighton. Took them down 3-1.
Yep, dropped their first set of the season, but it was weird. Obviously, he was at work, but I caught some of the highlights and this and that. But Creighton looked really sluggish first two games. Third games, they played like a 16th ranked team and won a close one. And then, Nebraska took care of it in the fourth set.
Yeah, I only had the chance to just look at the stats, and Merritt Beeson's stats had the most kills.
Good grief, man.
Yeah, and Lindsey Krause was amazing as well. Yeah. They're all amazing, Becca, all of them. And I wish I could mention all of them. A look ahead, Saturday, we take on Long Beach State. That is going to be on for any local people, Nebraska Public Media. If you are a volleyball fan and you're listening and you're out of the state, you can actually watch it on their website and not have to link it to any cable or anything, and it's free. Or Big Ten Plus. And then a quick mention. Okay, so Long Beach State is huge because another one of Cook's coaching tree, Tyler Hildebrand, is coach of Long Beach State.
Who was with them, last year, right? Tyler,
2 years, 2 years ago. 2 years ago.
Man, it goes so fast.
Right, so University of Kentucky coach Craig Skinner, Iowa State coach Christy Johnson Lynch, Danny Busboom at Louisville, Chris Tamas at Illinois. Coach Cook, amazing. Hats off to you. And one last mention to the University of Nebraska Information Office. They have finally started putting pronouncers on athletes' individual profile pages.
They're fans of the show.
Not every single one has them, but they're starting to put them out there, and I can't thank you enough. Thank you. Yeah.
And that Long Beach State's on the 9th, and then, by the way, 3 days later, we play Stanford on the 12th, which would be a huge test, push for this young team that we have. So, big volleyball coming up.
Yeah. Great. Both of them, the Long Beach State, let's see, is at home and Stanford is away.
Yes.
And then we have Kentucky at home. And then, Ohio State at home. So you're right. Huge.
Got some,
Okay, Nebraska at Colorado. I mean, everybody is loving them in the media right now, right?
Man, yeah, I mean.
Everybody is just loving them. And you can't blame them.
I can, but I'm old and I followed a lot of football, and those of you with me that have followed a lot of football and watched it over the years, preseason rankings are a joke. Unranked Duke beat number 9 Clemson, and it barely got a snippet on any kind of sports thing. Granted, they weren't 20. They were still double-digit underdogs. They weren't 20. Granted, they won 9 games last year. Colorado won 1. But TCU, when you watch that game, I texted Hanson at half and said, TCU's barely going to win 6 games this year. They're that bad of a team. Nothing against Colorado, but I'm just saying preseason rankings are garbage. TCU shouldn't have been where they were at. I don't know how they're still in the top 25, but whatever.
I think they're that good. I think they're still within 25, but their defense is suspect.
So
Colorado is suspect.
Yeah.
Okay, so James and I talked about how we can fit all the games we want to talk about into this short amount of time. So this will be fun. We're trying to give each other 2.5 minutes. So I'm going to break this down real quick.
Okay.
Nebraska's recipe for disaster.
Oh, turnovers.
3 interceptions last week, 1 fumble, 4 turnovers, 7 penalties for 55 yards. We do that again, we're going down. Nebraska's keys to success, 4.9 yards per rush. If we do that, holy Huskers, keep going, move it, keep moving it. Commit no more than 1 turnover, get 2 to 3 takeovers and turnovers, and hold on to interceptions. I bring that up because we had a guy on defense almost have it in his clutches and then dropped it.
In the end zone.
We need fewer than 6 penalties.
Yep.
Somehow get fewer than 6 penalties. And we need 4 to 5 sacks. We need to shake up Shedeur. We do. And control the time of possession. Getting back to the recipe for disaster, if Colorado gets 500-plus yards, wow. Game over.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a stinker. And last week I was in Colorado and I met someone. We talked sports, and he said he listened. So just a quick hello to Raymond. And Raymond, your Colorado Buffaloes have a really good shot. It's looking like they have a really good shot. Even the line, I looked a couple days ago, it hasn't moved. Colorado by 3. Overs are it's set at 59.5. So
yeah,
Nebraska's run defense is stout, but their pass defense has to be there.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. A lot of people ask me, what do I look at this game, blah, blah, blah. Did they even have a chance? I'm like, well, you turned the ball over 4 times and you lost by 3. So, yeah, I definitely give them a chance. You turn the ball over 4 times to a Power 5 school, you're probably not within 3 points. And, oh, by the way, you had a chance to still win it or at least tie it at the end there. So, normally, you're not even, smelling it. So, I mean, unfortunately, it was a typical... We were behind, we were ahead, and then we lost it. So, the penalties, I don't get false starts ever, especially the one on the goal line. It would have been a quarterback sneak, touchdown. Then we know pick later. So, recipe for success, run the ball. And Colorado, they ran the ball 34 times. 34 times, 13 of them by the Shavon Wilkerson, their main back, had a 3-yard average. They had 55 yards. Nebraska's run defense is a lot better than TCU's. Make them one-dimensional. And please, you want appetite for success? Blitz the crap out of this team.
I think if we make them one-dimensional, we lose. If they get another 500 yards passing, we're done.
No, that's what I'm saying. Once you know that they can't run, they shouldn't be scared of this running back or their running game. Send 5 and 6 guys, play after, but different places. Obviously, don't send the same linebacker every time, right? Mix it up. Have some corner blitzes. If you got to watch any of the game, Shedeur loves to stand back there and let his guys get 15, 20 yards down the field and throw it. TCU was giving them that time. For whatever reason, they'd rush 4, rush 3. Let's fill their zone up. No, Nebraska, don't give them any time. Send the house, blitz them repeatedly like you did in the 90s. What they did with Peyton Manning, don't give them no time to throw the ball, so send the house. So, to me, defensively, this is where it's going to come down for Nebraska. I think they did an extremely great job against Minnesota. He's not a great passer like Shedeur is, but I think we could take away a lot of the stuff that they like. And if we run the ball 45 times, Nebraska's going to win this game.
Colorado was completely focused very disciplined. They only had one turnover, and they had very few penalties. If they do that again and have 500-plus passing yards, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if Nebraska's offense will be able to put up enough points, but it'll be very interesting.
Yeah. Colorado's at home. I had Nebraska picked when the season started. Granted, obviously I was wrong last week. We had picked TCU to win and pretty much win by double digits. That didn't happen. I didn't realize how bad TCU's defense was. And the quarterback was returning. He was their starter before he got hurt. He was coming back. He didn't look very good until the second half. He got better. I don't think Colorado's defense was really ever challenged besides their running game, and TCU was running at 7 yards a clip. So, I'm sorry, 7.1, 37 rushes, 260 yards. But also TCU, 10 penalties, 78 yards, and they had 2 turnovers. So, again, like Nebraska, you don't turn that ball over, you probably win. So,
if we look at our picks last week, you said TCU wins, but Colorado covers.
Right.
And then you had Minnesota, you had UNL covers and overs. I went unders on that just by looking at the last few games, and it was a huge under. But and then I had Nebraska beats the spread. They lost by 3. So if you would have bet Nebraska, you would have won, and if you would have bet the unders, you would have won. I had Colorado beating the spread and having the overs, and the overs were definitely there. Whew. I just didn't have Colorado winning.
Right.
I had it the other way. I think I said TCU by 3 or 4. All right, there's our timer. So that's where I'm at. I honestly think Nebraska, unfortunately, loses on the road. And I think it's another close game, but I would say I would say unders, and I think it's Colorado by 9.
I got Nebraska winning. I saw a lot of stuff I liked in that game, minus the fact that it was lost. And Colorado does some good stuff, but I'm taking Nebraska to win this game.
All right. We are going to move on to the NFL tonight. Thursday, the Lions go to the Chiefs, and this is going to start the NFL season here. So
NFL is here for real.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
The media is saying the Lions are for real under head coach Dan Campbell. As of the 5th of this week, September 5th, the Chiefs were at 5, and the overs were at 53. And let's see, did that stand? No, it went up to 4.5.
Yeah, it's at 4.5 last I saw this morning.
4.5 for the Chiefs, and the over stayed. Nope, those went up as well to 53.5. So will Matt Stafford shine? Time will tell. Will
not Stafford, Goff.
Oh my gosh!
I know. You pulled a James right there.
Man, Jared Goff. I'm sorry, Jared, and I'm sorry any Lions fans. Yeah, Matt Stafford is at the Rams. I read an article about the Rams. But anyway, Chiefs will they have the same snap without Eric Bieniemy? I don't know. I still think the Chiefs by 7, and I would take the unders because it's an early game.
Yeah, I 100% want to pick the Lions here, and 2 things that I'm not. 1, it's at the Chiefs. Kansas City at home is virtually unbeatable since Reed and Mahomes has gotten there. And 2, Mahomes is undefeated on opening day, 5-0, 18 touchdowns, no picks. It's going to be tough. I love the Lions in this game. No Jones. Looks like no Travis Kelce either.
Yeah.
But Mahomes still has some weapons. I think they still find a way. And I gotta step back a little bit because a lot of this hype on the Lions is how they finished last year and how great they looked and lost some close games, right? We don't know if that's carrying over. Same thing if you look at the Jaguars. They played great, made the playoffs. Everybody's got to kind of push them to win. A lot of teams, it doesn't carry over. I mean, look at the Rams. They won the Super Bowl and everybody's picking them to go back, and they didn't do it last year. How many times we pushed the Browns? Oh, they got Mayfield. They got all these pieces. Oh, they're going to be the one this year. So let me see how the Lions play this game over the next couple of weeks before I jump completely in on them being I still like them to win the North. Honestly, I still kept that pick. I know we did those a few weeks ago, and I had the Lions winning the North. I'm going to stick with that for now. But I got to see if it carries over. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs. 4.5. Yeah, I can see him winning by 6 or 7. But I honestly would not be surprised if the Lions do win. And then that would definitely put them on the map going into Kansas City, even though it's first game.
So I've heard you say both. I've heard you say KC wins, and I've heard you say you wouldn't be surprised if the Lions win.
Yeah, I'm going to pick the Chiefs, but if the Lions win, I'm not going to be shocked. I'm going to be the hometown homer, pick the hometown crowd. The quarterback that hasn't been beat in week 1 yet, had a lot to prepare for this. You know, when you have that long of a time to prepare for a team. And remember, Lions D was not good last year at all. I know they made a lot of changes. We'll have to see if they, how they do week 1. So I'm going to take the Chiefs week 1, and I'll have them cover that 4.5.
So, now I can't find it. But earlier this morning, I was reading how in his starts, I want to say Mahomes has won 80% of his game ones or something like that. So, and that's even back when he was a rookie.
Oh, okay. I see. Well, he's undefeated on week 1 in the NFL. He's 5-0. I guess 70% completion percentage. 18 touchdowns, no picks. So yeah, week 1 in the NFL. I don't know, maybe college, 80%. Maybe lost a couple in college. I don't know. But I know NFL, they were saying this the other day that he's undefeated in week 1. I know, by the way, he played preseason. So he's not coming out to a slow start. He's been throwing the ball, been in the reps, so I applaud him.
I don't even think having a game without Kelsey is going to be that big of a deal. It will limit certain factors, but I don't think that stops the Chiefs by any means. And that's tonight. That is the Thursday night game, and it is on everybody's least favorite. Oh, actually, it's NBC.
NBC, yeah, shocked me.
Whoa. Yeah. Okay, so did that switch from Prime to NBC? Who knows?
Yeah, I don't got nothing, man.
Fair enough.
But yeah, and again, one of my biggest complaints, and we'll get to it when we talk about the Cowboys also, Goff didn't play preseason. So I feel him a little rusty. Mahomes did play preseason.
He'll come out that's our timer, man. Okay, Bengals-Browns. Line as of September 5th, since he was at 2.5, the overs were at 47.5. And it's now gone up to 48.5 overs-unders.
Oh,
what's your take on this one?
I love the Bengals. I don't have a lot of love for the Cleveland right now. They just, I don't know how much they have going for them. They have a really good quarterback on paper. They got a really good running back. About the main thing that does anything for their team. Cincinnati, my biggest knock on them this year will be a running game. For whatever reason, they've stuck with Joe Mixon, I guess. I mean, they didn't draft one. I didn't see him pick up anybody really relevant enough. They really need a running game. Joe Burrow is amazing. I don't know how he has taken the hits that he has taken. I take that back. Cincinnati did draft Illinois' Chase Brown.
Yeah.
But he's already carried the ball like 1,000 times, so I don't know how much he has legs under him, but we'll see. Cincinnati needs to get a running game, more of a not even 70-30, not even 55-45, run the ball, get that pressure off of Joe Burrow. Coming off a calf injury, didn't practice or no preseason. Watson, no preseason also, so this game will be slow. They might eventually get to 20 probably by the end of the fourth quarter. We'll see both teams there. But I like Cincinnati. Their defensive line needs to show me something this game, especially against a Browns team that's not great on the line. I'm going to take Cincinnati. I have them going second in that division behind Lamar and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Oh, my gosh. The Baltimore Ravens. Still thinking of the Jaguars. But, yeah. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to take Cincinnati all the way in this game, and I really hope they find a running game.
So looking at production real quick with Joe Mixon's stats, last year he rushed for 800 yards, the year prior, 1,200 yards. He's been with Cincinnati since 2017. He has 3 seasons where he's rushed over 1,100 yards. He also receives just a little bit, but I'm wondering if this is his last year in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And then again, since you mentioned they did draft a running back, I just think Bengals by 10, and I would take the unders. And the only reason I'm saying the unders is I don't think the Browns are going to score that much. I really don't have a whole lot on this other than how can you bet against Joe Burrows? I don't know why they're only favored by 2.5. Granted, it's on the road. It's an early game, but I think that's ridiculous. That's why I'm going Bengals by 10 and the unders.
Yeah, and Mixon's only 27. I mean, you read all that, and he hasn't hit that 30 yet. But you just read 1,200 down to 800. So Bengals, if you want to compete in the North, you better find a running game.
Yeah. All right, I've got a minute and a half left on my timer. I'm going to move that on to the Bucs and the Vikings. Bucs coach Todd Bowles against the Vikings coach Kevin O'Connell, who is a former Rams coordinator. The line on that one, as of the 5th, was 6.
It's 5.5 now.
Minnesota by 6, and now it's 5.5, and overs and unders are at 45. What do you think 45. About this thing?
Again, you have, back to, not to take too much of your time, but my thing is when quarterbacks do not play in the preseason, they come out slow and sluggish. I have the Vikes winning this game easily also, but Kirk Cousins, no preseason. Mayfield played that first game, a little bit of the second, then play the third. Back to like Mahomes. Mahomes is obviously an MVP, won Super Bowls, and he knows the importance of finding rhythm, in-game rhythm. I don't care what you say about practices, this, that. You're not getting it as in-game rhythm. You don't. You need to play the preseason. But anyway, Bucs, Vikes, I think the Bucs are terrible. Vikes without Dalvin Cook probably look to prove something a little bit. Kirk Cousins has 300 yards passing, and they win by double digits.
Everything on paper tells me it's Minnesota. It's Minnesota. They're going to do it. They're going to do it. Being a Vikings fan, they're going to do it. I'm gonna buck the trend, and the Bucs by 6 and the unders because Baker Mayfield has something to prove, and he has a vendetta against the whole league on every single team passing against him. He feels that every single team has decided that he's not good enough, and somehow he's getting a chance at the Bucs, so he wants to step up and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to do it." I'm saying that,
right?
Even though I'm saying that, it's kind of a half-hearted statement because I don't believe it because I think the Vikings get it done at home. But I'm sticking with that. I'm sticking with the Bucs by 6, and I'm taking the unders, and you're taking the Vikes.
Yeah, I mean, Vikings are at home. Yeah, they've had the home cooking, but Baker has had several chances, and I don't know why this year would be the one he's like, oh, you know what? I'm about to be a career backup, so maybe I should start playing. I think you're a Denver fan, so you've seen Sean Payton's statement that Russell should stop concentrating on Russell Inc. and think about football. Baker Mayfield needs to stop thinking about Baker Inc. and play football, or he's going to be a career backup pretty soon.
The reason I made my prediction is I looked at what Baker Mayfield did when he went to the Rams. He immediately injected some enthusiasm and some energy, and he had amazing games. So I know this isn't a mid-season trade. I know he's had some time to probably rub some people the wrong way in the locker room. I'm guessing, but I'm sticking with the Bucs by 6, and I'm taking the unders. And James is taking my Vikings, and I should as well, but I haven't. So that's just where we're at. Okay, my timer went off, and that takes us to the Raiders and my Broncos. You already mentioned them. I haven't looked at an updated line on this one. The Raiders are horrible. I think everybody in the league knows it. So it stayed the same. A couple days ago, it was 3.5. Denver favored. Overs, unders were at 44. That's where they're at. I'll say it again. Raiders are horrible. And because they are, it falls on Josh McDaniels. He gets fired either midseason or at the end of the season if he can't win more than 4. I just, you can't have that talented of a receiver You can't lose an amazing franchise quarterback and somehow still keep your job after trying to switch everything around. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I've never liked him as a head coach. I don't think they're that bad. I like the Raiders in this game. You have the number one running back in the league from last year. Like you said, you have the top wide receiver. And supposedly you got Garoppolo, who's just as good, if not better than Carr on paper, however way people want to look at it. And I'm not sold on the Denver, Russell Wilson, Sean Payton relationship. Payton's a very old school, Bill Parcells, as you will, type coach, right? I want it ran this way. I call a play. There is no audibling, you blah, blah, blah. I remember back in the day when Parcells coached for the Cowboys, had Bledsoe as a quarterback. Bledsoe ad-libbed a few times. He did not like it. Fast forward here to Sean Payton and Russell Wilson. When Russell Wilson is supposed to get the ball out and that guy's probably going to be open, he doesn't throw it. He ad-libs, throws an incompletion or takes a sack. It's going to have a lot of heartache. I think Raiders are more complete, ready to go. I think Sean Payton and Denver are still trying to figure it out. If you look at Russell Wilson's numbers in the preseason, they were terrible. So I'm taking the Raiders. I guess it's an upset. I don't look at it as one, but they are on the roads. But yeah, this will be take Raiders over the Broncos. And I totally agree. I think Josh McDaniels is a terrible quarterback, but terrible coach. But Jimmy G, Jacobs, who got his deal or 1-year deal, and Devontae Adams get it done.
The Broncos have had a rough start to their season. They keep losing players. Now, most recently, Jerry Jeudy is out. For whatever reason, I think the Denver Broncos defense keeps it close, and they still win by a touchdown. I don't know. I don't necessarily think that Russell Wilson will be the starter throughout the whole season. I agree with you. I think him and Peyton have already kind of butted heads a little bit. I mean, he already kick out his Russell Wilson's people,
right? Yeah,
from the facility. Yeah. Like this isn't your facility. This is the Broncos facility,
right?
So
you don't need those people where your coaches.
So if he can swallow some pride, to quote a line from Winning Season, the Lakers Winning Season show on HBO Max, Kareem, the character in the show, Kareem and Magic are having a conversation, and Kareem tells him, he's like, "Hey, Magic, at one time you told me to swallow some pride, which would be best for the team. Maybe it's time for you to swallow some pride." I don't know who's right here. Is it Russell Wilson's time to swallow some pride, or is it Sean Payton's time to swallow some pride?
Yeah. They definitely need to meet in the middle.
Yeah, I don't think they have.
Right. No, yeah, you're 100%. And Russell a little bit more than before because what have you done for me lately? That's kind of league we're in, right? Yeah. And he hasn't done a whole lot.
No. We are going to move on to the Packers and the Bears. What do you think about this one?
I'm totally confused on why the Bears are favored. A lot of people on Justin Fields, and all of a sudden he's MVP leading odds, whatever you want to go by. I'm sorry, I watched him throw last year, or try to throw. I watched him scramble around a lot. Yeah, I get it. Their O-line was terrible. They had a really good running game. Preseason watching, if you're a Bears fan and you watch the Bears, their offense was strictly off pass and catch. So, yeah, if you pull up his numbers, like, well, he threw for 65 yards. No, he threw a 4-yard pass that went 50 yards. So he didn't throw the ball down the field. He was doing the dunk and dink. I don't know all of a sudden why Jordan Love got a lot of love. And then now come game one, they're not even going to be favored. But I'm taking Green Bay. Again, I don't know this is an upset, but Bears are favored. And, it is at Chicago. I'm taking Green Bay all the way. And I could see a touchdown, 10-point, maybe a 10-point victory. Bears defense are going to be great, right? Bears are known for the D. They're going to bring it. But I just don't see that offense, very threatening to anybody in the North.
So the line as of a couple days ago, and it hasn't changed, was Bears by 1. The only thing that changed was the overs number. It went down to 42. I'm not sold on Love, but they could completely surprise me I feel that their locker room probably has grown a little bit closer together without Aaron Rodgers there. As players, you always watch the media. You want to hear what people say about you because that's just people. So knowing what Aaron Rodgers did to that locker room when he took that huge contract and he didn't want to take any less money, but then he immediately goes to the Jets and they restructure their deal. That has to play into the mind of some of these kids. So does that equal them coming out and just being a firecracker, lights out, straight out of the gate? I don't. You have picked the pack. I think the Bears win by 4, just for the fact that, Justin Fields isn't amazing, but he can run out of any situation and make any defense that's trying to blitz him look silly. So I have the Bears by 4 and the overs on that one.
Yeah, and my main thing is not a Justin Fields. I mean, I just don't. Not on that side. Like I said, I watched him throw. It doesn't scare me as long as Green Bay plays close to the line of scrimmage, plays everything up tight. But yeah, and I watched Jordan Love. I wasn't a fan of his. I thought the Pack might have blew it, but I liked what I saw in the preseason from Jordan Love. Not saying they're winning the Super Bowl or the North, but they'll beat the Bears.
We are going to move on to, let's see, we have Cowboys and Giants. So
Sunday night.
This is the Sunday night game. And we had a line stay the same, 3.5 Cowboys favored, 46.5 overs unders. James, take it away.
Yeah, obviously it's my team, so I'm going to be biased as heck. That's just the way I am. It's very much almost a 50-50 game right now. If you're looking at it, it's 55-45 type thing on the predictor scale. Dak, I won't say owns the Giants, but he's very, 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 very successful against the New York Giants. They look great, though. Watch the Giants, some of their preseason. NFL Network's great about replaying games, so get to watch some of the plays when the starters are in. Giants look for real. Not even going to lie. I wouldn't be surprised if 3 NFC East teams make the playoffs. With that being said, though, I have to go by on paper, and Dallas weapons on offense are just too much. Giants have 2 brand new corners, 2 rookies that they're going to start going against: Brandon Cooks, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup. I like my chances. Yes, you guys are like, well, Dak has to throw the ball. You're right. I'm going to take my chances with that. And don't forget, you have Pollard and, we'll throw Deuce Vaughn in there, but Pollard and Dinwiddie as the running backs. I like Dallas to win. I normally would call a close game at New York, but people, Cowboy fans, call me crazy. I got a double-digit win for the boys this weekend.
Oh, wow. I have the Cowboys winning by 3, and I'd take the unders. I know the line was at 3.5, so if you bet the Giants and the Cowboys win by 3, you're a winner. I'm taking a lot of the unders just for the fact that it's early in the season.
1. Yep.
Yeah, it's early in the season. You don't know. The other side of that is they don't have Kellen Moore. I'm not sold on McCarthy calling the plays.
Okay.
I could be wrong. It's been known to happen daily, but for whatever reason, I feel that Kellen Moore was a little bit of the push of, hey, let's not be so conservative. I feel Mike McCarthy is a little bit more conservative. I'm looking back at last year when I feel that he went over and told Kellen, this is what we're going to play, and it cost him in a couple games. So I that's why I went Dallas by 3 in the unders. And you're going Cowboys by double digits.
Oh, yeah, Cowboys cover, win, Howard, yeah. And on the flip side of that, the first quarter, fans don't get crazy. It will be slow. Dallas had over 18 starters not even play in the preseason on both sides of the ball between offense, defense. Dallas will get off to a sluggish start, but they will pick it up. Jones and them played preseason. They might come off to a hot start, get out to a quick 6-7-0 lead, but Dallas will make it happen in the end. Yeah, so yeah, Dallas wins, covers.
It's gonna be a fun first week. All these games are gonna be a fun first week, and To have the Cowboys and Giants, the Sunday night game, and all the buildup, for me, that's tough because you have to sit there and watch all the rest of the teams play, and you're just like, oh, I just want to go out and play. Oh, I just want to go out and play. So both teams falter. That plays into why I want to take the unders, because you have all that anticipation and buildup, and I feel that there's going to be multiple turnovers on both sides of the ball.
Oh, no.
Yeah, both sides. Giants do it and Cowboys do it.
What's the over-under on that?
Overs is set at 46.5.
Oh, wow. I think that it goes over. I don't pick over-unders, but...
You think it goes overs?
I almost see Dallas putting up 27-30 on their own. Yeah.
They totally could.
Yep.
They totally could, because if you look at their last few games, that's even in their losing efforts, that's what they did.
Yeah.
They beat Tampa Bay. They won by 31. They lost to San Fran. They only put up 12. They lost to Jacksonville. They put up 23. Yeah, I know it's a whole new year, but you got to look at what they previously did.
Yep.
But that was my reasons on why I got to the unders. First game of the season,
agreed.
And it's the last game of the day. So you have all that time to sit and think and focus. And it's Dak. He throws a lot of picks. He throws into double coverage a lot. Great quarterback. I can't take anything away from him other than I really wish he wouldn't push the envelope on some of those things and take care of the ball a little bit better.
And I think that's the difference you'll see in McCarthy calling plays. He won't be thrown into double coverage.
All right, that timer tells us we need to move on to the Bills and the Jets. Bills and the Jets, Monday night. Bills coach Sean McDermott against Jets head coach Robert Saleh and their newly minted QB1, Aaron Rodgers, who had a down year with the Packers last year. What does he do? Does he drive that jet directly into a mountain? I mean, does he soar off, getting the MVP trophy at the end of the year? I think he's going to falter a little bit here and there. The overs were set at 46.5, and Buffalo is still favored by 2.5. Oh, it's in New York. Bills are on the road. I'm saying Rodgers throws 2 interceptions. The Bills win by 6, and I would take the overs all day long.
I have no idea. I'm flipping a quarter. Von Miller's not playing for the Bills, which sucks because he would definitely chase Rodgers around all day with that O-line being extremely questionable. Everyone saw it. If you watch Hard Knocks, you just know it. And the Bills didn't give Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs anything left to help them out. And that drives me bazonkers. They didn't go grab Devin Cook. Oh, yeah, by the way, the Jets did, though. I really don't want to pick this game because I have no idea. I seriously would flip a coin. But I'm not a Rodgers fan. I'm not a Jets fan. I was when Curtis Martin was there, but he's not there no more. I love Breece Hall, though, coming off an injury, ACL. I'll go with the Bills, mainly because, like I said, they've been there, done that. So McDermott, I love him as a coach over the Jets guy. I guess I'll take the Bills. I mean, I honestly have no idea. This game is played on 9/11, New York. The show is going to be amazing if you guys watch it. I recommend Manning Cast. They're going to be coming out for their 3rd year. Watching Manning Cast is super fun. But yeah, give me the Bills, I guess, just because I have to pick a team.
It will be tough for the Bills. Again, they're going to be on the road. New York is always tough to play in for any team that comes in there. And there's going to be a lot of emotion around this game. Not just for the 9/11, but the Bills also have a guy coming back. This will be his first regular season game played after he had a basic cardiac arrest and flatlined on the field.
Yep.
So many things can happen. And I agree. It's the first game. And I'm glad you brought that up. Every single game, to me, that I've picked was pretty much a flip of the coin. What happens? Do I look at the spread a little bit? Do I look at some of the other stuff? Yeah, but it's the start of the season. You don't really know. You don't have anything to go on other than what happened last year, and so many things have changed. The Bills, though, have stayed pretty consistent as far as change goes. The only unfortunate thing you already mentioned, Von Miller is out right now. And Micah Hyde, their safety, is questionable. Along with on the other side of the ball, the Jets, Breece Hall is questionable. But you have Dalvin Cook. Both teams have amazing weapons.
Yes.
But I still think the difference is Rodgers throws two interceptions. He gets a little too overconfident. The Bills rush him. They get him frustrated because he plays horrible when he's frustrated.
Yeah.
And he plays horrible at the very first 4 games of every season if you look back at the last 4 or 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
At the last of 4 or 5 years, I think it's about every 4th game at the press conference, he always tells the media, don't worry, it's early. Don't worry, it's early. Don't worry, it's early.
And he's right, but a slow start in that division does not go bode well.
No.
Their schedule's tough early.
Oh, huge. You have the Bills coming in.
Right.
Who could easily get to the Super Bowl. I know everybody is just going bonkers that love Aaron Rodgers, that they're gonna go to the Super Bowl with Rodgers as a quarterback. I don't see it. So that's why I went Bills by 6 and the overs.
Yep. I picked way too many road teams. I'm just not looking at I picked several road teams, but I'm all in. I'm like I said, it's early. You're going off a little bit of last year, a little bit of whatever changes they make, and I just got to see if the paper transfers to the field.
All right, that was the NFL in our parts, and I have some stuff I want to read from Vince Lombardi before we go to the next stuff. So
okay, perfect.
This is a longer quote. The winner is always part of the answer. The loser is always part of the problem. The winner always has a program. The loser always has an excuse. The winner says, "Let me do it for you." The loser says, "That's not my job." The winner sees an answer for every problem. The loser sees a problem for every answer. The winner sees a green near every sand trap. The loser sees 2 or 3 sand traps near every green. The winner says it may be difficult, but it's possible. The loser says it might be possible, but it's too difficult. Be a winner. So, out of all the games we picked, we don't know who's going to be a winner yet, but it really boils down to their attitude and how they get there.
And yeah, let's go all the way back to the beginning of the show, almost beginning. Nebraska, Colorado. I think that's one of the main things the Nebraska players have got to get in their head is, I don't agree with all the analogies, but one of the main ones is see the green on the other side of the bunker and not the bunkers surrounding the green. The Nebraska players are so used to losing so many close ones. I think when it came to the end of that Minnesota game, it was one of those, oh my goodness, are we? Can we? Will we? No, they just need to be, yes, we're a different team. We have a better mindset. And until we win a close one or do that at the end, these players, it's going to be hard for them to believe. Because, like last week, right? Oh, here we go again. We just need them to get in that positivity of winners and not thinking about it as, oh, well, I don't know if I'm on that level. So, yeah.
I mistakenly, and I'm going to put mistakenly in quotes, I mistakenly said, oh, if it wouldn't have been for that last fumble, we might have won. Other people said, okay, well, what about the dropped interception?
Right.
What about the other 2 interceptions? What about not stopping them on a couple of those 3rd downs or 4th downs?
Fact.
And I went, okay, so you're right. It wasn't just that one fumble, but it happened so late in the game that that's what you focus on. So the reason I brought this up earlier, when Matt Rule made the decision to get away from the guy who fumbled because he didn't want him as a starter because he fumbled, I have to give Matt Rule kudos because in my mind, I feel he put him into the game because he wanted to hurt the kid a little bit and not necessarily intentionally hurt him, but to build him up. You kind of have to take some stuff away.
Right.
Son, you're fumbling a little bit. I can't have you be starter. That really hurts a guy's pride. So then you try a little bit harder. So then Matt Rule wanted to build him up again. I'm like, hey, you're still playing. You're still playing. But then he fumbled. So can the team can that player, as I knock stuff around, can they move forward? We'll find out.
Yeah. And all these people that says, oh, we should have kicked a field goal. Excuse me. No, because of hindsight, you say that. But if they would have went down there, got called for that false start, there's 11 seconds on the clock, by the way. No, granted, no timeouts, 11 seconds. If Matt Rule would have sent the field goal team out there and kicked a field goal, and we still lose by 2 or 3 points, everyone would have been screaming. You had 11 seconds. You could have made one throw to the end zone. It could have been a touchdown, have been a difference. But you're right. With 11 seconds on the clock, the right call is to run one play, a throw and passing play into the end zone. Granted, Matt Rule didn't say, hey, dude, go ahead and throw it to the other team. We don't need this. No, that's not what he coaches. You call the play. You hope it's ran correctly. He had a guy wide open in front of the end zone, missed him, whatever. But don't tell me you want your coach with 11 seconds on the clock to kick a field goal and not at least throw one pass to the end zone to try to get a touchdown. So, yeah, I had no problem with the pass. Obviously, it worked. I mean, they called the right play. The guy was wide open. He missed that guy and threw to a different guy. So don't tell me we should have kicked a field goal with 11 seconds on the clock before half.
Moving away from that, you had a couple more Colorado. You had a couple more college games that you wanted to take a look at.
Got some Notre Dame fans in the house. So Notre Dame has actually already played 2 games. They take on an ACC opponent, their first ACC opponent here with NC State. It'll be a good test for them. Notre Dame's coming in, I believe, like a touchdown favorite in this game. Yeah, 7.5 points. It's an early one, 11 o'clock, and it's on ABC, not NBC. Wow, that's weird. I like Notre Dame to win it. Obviously, they have already 2 games under their belt, so they're working a bunch of stuff out. NC State's very formidable through the air, they both run for over 200 yards a game, but NC State's given up over 160 on the ground. Notre Dame's just over 100. Notre Dame's played Navy and Tennessee State. NC State beat UConn, so they may be a little tougher opponent. But I like Notre Dame. I'm not sure about 10th in the country, but they're playing pretty good football. Their quarterback's out of Wake Forest, so it's not like this NC State hasn't seen him. I mean, he's coming from the ACC, so won't be nothing new for him. They'll have plenty of film on him, but I don't know if they cover the 7.5 though. But I will pick Notre Dame to win that game.
The other game we wanted to mention was the Texas-Alabama game, and it's in Alabama. That is an evening game on Saturday. Alabama's favored by 7. Overs are set at 54. Texas is ranked 11th.
Yeah.
This should be a really good early season matchup, and Texas could easily come out with a win. Alabama could easily come out with a win. What do you think, James?
Yeah, last year it was Texas was going blow to blow with them, hanging. Defense was playing amazing, and then Ewers went out, and Alabama squeezed out a victory. I believe it was by field goal, if I remember right. I'm going to pick out if we're picking this game. I don't know if we are, but Bama at home only because they're at home. Ewers. Unfortunately, Texas fans, he doesn't have a great track record against big ranked teams. If he can stay healthy, I like his shot. Obviously, new year, right? He's coming in bigger, stronger, healthier than I've ever been type thing. I'm glad they're getting Alabama early. I would love Texas to walk out of there with a 6-7-5, whatever victory. But Bama at home, yeah, I can't. My money's not going to go against Alabama at home.
If Alabama doesn't have a good running game, I think Texas has a chance. Mm-hmm. And the reason I bring that up, against Rice, Texas held them to 27 yards rushing.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
They only allowed 149 yards passing. So if Texas defense does that to Alabama, they can easily upset them on the road.
Yeah, fact. I mean, Alabama blew it out, but they played a preseason game week 1. So we'll see how they go against, obviously a very stout Texas defense. Moving over to the Pac-12, Oregon at Texas Tech. I don't know what the over-unders are. Oregon's only favored. Only 13-ranked Oregon's only favored by 6.5. I think this is another one with the Pac-12 not getting love. But by the way, after week 1, the Pac-12 is undefeated. Thanks, in large part to Colorado upsetting TCU, USC. All them guys won. Pac-12 is the only conference undefeated. Not getting any respect on the road. Oregon's going to win by double digits. They put up 70-some points week 1. This offense looks really good. Luckily they came on late at night. So 729 total yards in week 1, 380 passing, 350 on the ground. That's the big number. If you're a football fan looking at the Pac-12, they don't run for 350 yards. They just don't. 348 yards on the ground. Texas Tech, 93. Yeah, Oregon's going to go in there. And I feel for you, Texas Tech.
Do you have a Today in Sports for us?
I do. While I pull it up, because obviously I don't have that memorized, we talked about the whole realignment, Pac-12 and all that, and ACC had voted out Stanford and Cal. Well, somebody flipped their vote, and now not only Stanford and Cal, but also SMU will be joining the ACC, by the way. So if any of you guys missed that, they did do some talking, some smoozing over, and got that vote to flip. Carolina, Clemson, Florida State, the only 3 that voted no. The rest voted yes. So those teams will be moving, and we'll have to see what happens to the Pac-12. College football starting 1991, way back, Ty Detmer. Man, talk about a great college quarterback, not so good in the NFL. NCAA record, 11,600 yards. So you figure 4-year career, it's over 300 or over 3,000 yards a pop. And 1991, that was all the way back where that's just very impressive to have over that many yards passing. Didn't transfer to the NFL, but.
How many? One more time. How many was it?
11,600.
In a 4-year career?
Yep.
In the 90s?
In the 90s, yeah. Yeah, in the 90s, exactly.
That's nuts.
Yeah. 1986, so those of you that love the instant replay, that's when we all started. And the Cleveland Browns, this would have been a good trivia question. I should have just asked you, who do you think was the first team to have a play reviewed by instant replay? And it was the Cleveland Browns, and 41-31 loss to the Chicago Bears.
Oh, wow.
And what shocked me the most when I was reading that, I was like, a Cleveland-Chicago game put up 72 points? That is amazing. One, Chicago plays great defense.
What year was it?
86. Yeah, the Bears Super Bowl, right. But how did they give up 31 to Cleveland? I was just sitting there like, that's a lot of points.
That had to, okay, so if it was the very first time something was reviewed, that had to be the first game of the season, I'm guessing?
I don't have a month or a day, but still.
Fair enough, yeah.
That's crazy. And then Dan Marino, 1986 throws.
Well, okay. So if you looked it up Today in Sports, it had to be the first game of the season because it was.
Oh.
It was September.
Yes. Yeah.
It was September.
Yep.
All right.
But still, yeah. We remember earlier we're picking NFL games. First game of the season, picking the unders. I'm picking the unders. 72 points.
Yeah, that tells me right there I'm wrong on every single under I picked.
That's crazy. Marino started his career in 1983 with the Dolphins, right? In 3 years, he threw his 1986 threw his 100th career touchdown pass. Obviously the fastest in NFL history because it wasn't a passing league. Just look at, not only, it's actually less than 3 years because this is game 1, right? First game of his 3rd year into his NFL career, he threw his 100th touchdown pass.
That's
wow.
That's smoking. That's smoking at the quarterback position.
Yeah. And then today's National Beer Drinking Day and the start of football. So I'll be at work. You guys enjoy. Have one for me, please.
Again, we've been doing this for a year. Thanks for everybody that has listened. If you listen on YouTube, again, hit the like button and subscribe. If you listen on Spotify, please hit the follow button.
One other thing, I don't know if you saw, Spence had activated his little clause in that contract. So they're going to have another Spence Crawford fight. for those fans.
So
we'll have to see.
I discussed that with another coworker, and the other thing that Spence wants, now it's at Crawford's disposition if he wants to do it, or Crawford's can make the call if he wants to move up.
Right.
Errol Spence wants to go up and wait a little bit.
Yes, he does.
And I don't think that'd make a difference.
No.
That would give Crawford more power, per se. In my mind, Errol Spence didn't look ready. He didn't look conditioned enough, and he wasn't ready for the onslaught. So in hearing Errol Spence wants to move up in weight, he thinks that maybe he cut too much, and that's what took, I'll say, his legs away or his conditioning away. I don't think it matters. I feel that Crawford is just that much better than Errol Spence. Both of them are amazing fighters, but Crawford is amazing +2. And having additional weight, I don't think that's going to be the answer.
And yeah, watching a couple of the things that they were in a couple of things on the sports talking about it, they were saying the same thing, that Spence didn't look himself, didn't look this, and like I'm like, okay, well, it's not like the fight was sprung on him. He knew about it. I don't care about dropping the weight. You're still a complete boxer, and you just got, I can't say owned. It went 7, 8 rounds, right? Or 9. Anyway, it went several rounds, and you still didn't look like you should have you belonged in the ring with Crawford. I mean, he was beating you the whole time.
There are 2 fighters that don't make you look like who you should be. Floyd Mayweather.
Right.
He will play that defense. And Bud Crawford. The only round that Spence won was the first round, and Bud is notorious for seeing what they're going to do, holding back a little bit. I'm going to let you punch yourself, out of a little bit of that energy just to figure out where I can get my counters. And then after that, it's game on.
Right.
And Spence didn't have an answer because he didn't anticipate Bud doing that. Bud watches what you do. Bud figures out every single little thing that you're going to do and then counters on that. And he wants you to feel overconfident in that start of that second round and then give you a couple of counters. And then you're just like, oh my gosh.
I wasn't ready for it.
I just tipped my hand. This guy knows exactly what I'm going to do. I unloaded everything in the first round and now I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's going to matter. They're going to go up and wait. And unfortunately, it might not go 7 rounds next time.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll keep you updated once we get a date and all that. Right now, it's in the talks.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Daryl.
See ya.
That's James. Go watch some sports.